Well, welcome to the 700 Club. Let's go over to the CBN newsroom for today's top stories.
Gordon, we begin in the Middle East, where the Israeli Defense Forces have pulled out of the Palestinian city of Jenin after 2 days of an intense counterterrorism operation. The Israeli move came after more than 50 Israelis were killed or injured from terrorist operations out of Jenin in the past year. One Israeli soldier and 12 Palestinian militants were killed during the fighting. Chris Mitchell joins us now from Jerusalem to discuss the operation. So, Chris, exactly what did Israeli forces find and what did they accomplish?
Well, Ephraim, they found thousands of weapons, explosive devices, the IEDs, ammunition, guns, at least 6 explosive manufacturing facilities during this time. And they also uncovered underground shafts, one of them in a mosque where they found underground weapons depots. So a number of all kinds of weapons. They found a lot of money supplied by Iran. And one thing to understand about this operation, Ephraim, was that Iran is funding and supplying a lot of these ammunitions and weapons to many of these terror groups. So that has a great impact on what's happening here. And so because of all this, it looks like they have really dealt a severe blow to many of these terror groups that have been operating out of Jenin for many, many years now.
Now, Chris, there was another terror attack in Tel Aviv on Tuesday. What can you tell us about that? And is this a tactic now being used by Palestinians?
It is a tactic used by the Palestinians. It was a car ramming. A terrorist injured at least 7 people, 4 seriously, and after that he went on a stabbing rampage. One of the victims was a pregnant woman who lost her baby after the attack. He was shot and killed by a civilian who happened to be in the area. I was in near a ramming about this a couple of months ago. It's very deadly, Ephraim, you know, and it's very random. You don't know when it can happen. And in fact, here in Jerusalem, they actually have put up barriers around some bus stops when people are just waiting around for the bus. But still, it's very hard to do that all over, you know, many of these places. And so it's a very, very deadly tactic used by the Palestinians. You don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to happen. And so it's very, very difficult to come against that or defend against that. But it's just one of the things. And Hamas praised that attack, and he said that it was actually in response to the Jenin operation. But hopefully many of the people that were injured today will get better.
Do you foresee another military operation real quick?
Not right away, Ephraim. It looks like Jenin has really been set back as a terror base for many of these groups. So you don't see anything quite yet in the near future. But it's good to be watching about what's going to happen in Gaza. Hamas fired 5 rockets yesterday in retaliation to the Jenin operation. We'll see if that would explode on the southern border.
All right, we'll continue to watch. Thank you. Our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell reporting for us from Jerusalem. Thank you. Back here at home, a major ruling in the fight over online speech. A federal judge has forbidden several officials of the Biden administration and federal agencies from communicating with social media companies over what people can say online, saying the Biden administration likely violated the First Amendment by censoring some viewpoints in online posts. Trump-appointed District Judge Terry Doughty of Louisiana issuing the decision in a lawsuit brought back in 2022 by Republican attorneys general in Missouri and Louisiana, arguing the administration and social media companies had worked together to censor speech mainly during the pandemic involving vaccines, elections, criticizing the government, and other subjects. Doughty cited, quote, substantial evidence of a far-reaching censorship campaign, adding it is quite telling that each example or category of suppressed speech was conservative in nature. The White House can appeal the ruling. Despite soaring temperatures and severe weather, millions of Americans braved the elements to celebrate the 4th of July with parades and fireworks and, of course, the famous hot dog eating contest. CBN's Caitlin Burke has the story.
In the Northeast Tuesday, people dodged raindrops to watch fireworks shows. This impressive display in New York City using 60,000 pyrotechnics. And in Washington, D.C., the president and his family among the thousands to show up for the show over the National Mall. Meanwhile, down south, heat advisories in effect for many states, with temperatures soaring into the triple digits and storms in some areas turning more destructive. Severe weather hit the Midwest the hardest. In South Dakota, hail and strong winds leading several fireworks shows to be postponed or canceled. Despite the less than ideal conditions across the country, 2024 presidential candidates still hit the campaign trail. Mike Pence braving 94-degree temperatures to march in an Iowa parade.
For me, it was vitally important to be here where the journey to the White House always begins, and to spend 2 miles, at times jogging uphill, to take our case to the people of Iowa.
And in New Hampshire, Perry Johnson dodging rainstorms to get his message out to the American people.
Politics is a sport in New Hampshire, and if you don't do well in New Hampshire, you're in trouble.
Meanwhile, despite a rain delay, another long-standing tradition took place on New York's Coney Island. Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest. In the end, Joey Jaws Chestnut claiming his 16th victory. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Washington.
Congratulations, Joey George Chestnut. As summer picks up, people are looking for ways to exercise. Some might find a daily walk boring or a struggle to do alone. That is why many are taking up a game called pickleball. It is the fastest growing sport in America. Medical reporter Lori Johnson shows us the health benefits and exactly why so many people love it.
Over the last few years, pickleball has become the rage, especially among older Americans looking for something they can do that's good for the body and mind.
Pickleball is very addictive. It's like a wonderful drug to me. I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it.
Folks of all ages are thrilled to discover something so healthy is also really fun.
I meet lots of new people all the time, and I have found that it has helped me lose weight after knee replacement from gaining a little bit of weight, and just really keep in shape physically, keep my strength up, keep my core strong. So I've really gotten a lot of benefit out of it.
Although pickleball looks like tennis, there's less wear and tear on the joints.
The size of the court is 1/3 the size of a tennis court. So we don't have to move as much side to side, back and forth. So that in itself makes it easier on your overall body.
The game is slower than tennis and easier to pick up.
Pickleball being the fastest growing sport in the world is because almost anybody can play this sport and have a great time.
Like all sports, injuries are possible. Strains or tears in the feet, back, and shoulder are the most common, especially among older folks. Experts recommend people talk to their doctor before starting a new activity and warming up before hitting the court. Pickleball was invented in 1960s Seattle by 2 guys who wanted to play badminton but only had the net. So they improvised using equipment from other sports, ping pong paddles and a wiffle ball. The name pickleball comes from pickle boat, from crew, which uses oarsmen from other boats. Pickleball surged in popularity during the COVID-19 pandemic as people searched for ways to exercise outside while keeping their distance. Health experts say pickleball offers many of the same brain benefits as ping pong, a sport doctors recommend to help reduce cognitive decline, largely due to the constant hand-eye coordination.
And you're adding that cardio factor so that you're, pumping the blood to your brain, which we know is very good for cognition.
Pickleball can also improve reflexes.
It forces you to react quickly, to make decisions quickly, and it puts you in a new situation every time the ball is served.
Many players say the social element is what keeps them coming back.
And that's the part that I like, that is very sociable. So you can laugh and joke and clown around and have a good time with people, and nobody really takes you too seriously.
Which is also good for the brain.
Being around other people and meeting new people and being social has been shown to be a really important lifestyle factor in preventing dementia.
Exercise can help us sleep better, and vitamin D from sun exposure can improve our mood. So while trying a new sport can be intimidating, especially if you've been on the bench for a while, pickleball can be easy, fun, and very healthy, regardless of age. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
By the way, there is Major League Pickleball and is actually just named a new CEO. Those are your top stories from CBN News.